in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry go live to create. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.
Hello and welcome once again to TELUS STORYHIVE's On Location. We're here in Red Deer at the Art is Off the Wall Studios at the Scott Block. My name is Daniel J. Perryman. I'm a local theatre and filmmaker based in Lethbridge, Alberta, and this is my lovely co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability. And today we have
Alison Forsberg. I'm a multimedia visual artist here in Red Deer.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today and inviting us into your space. We really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm super excited to dive into some icebreakers with you, Alison, and just kind of get to know a bit about you, maybe outside of your artistic practice, some of your preferences, and just a bit about you. So first thing we have on the agenda is just a little bit of trivia. How are you with trivia typically? Red Deer specific trivia?
I'm pretty good, I think.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we have also prepared trivia for each other. So we'll see how well Michael and I know each other as well. But our first piece of trivia for you, Alison, is Red Deer's first outdoor ice rink opened in which year? A, 1850, B, 1898, C, 1900, or D, 1935?
1935.
Oh, not quite. The answer we got was answer B, 1898, which was a while ago. Yeah. And I know that
I did not know that.
No, that's super fair. I certainly would not have known that. I don't know when the first ice rink opened in Lethbridge. I could not tell you, so that's super fair.
I'm sure that one's not still standing.
Yeah, probably not, hey? Probably being bricked over and built on top of. We've also prepared trivia for each other, so maybe if you read my trivia for Michael right now, that's the one. And yeah, we'll see what we've got.
Okay. Through my work, I sometimes create surrealist narratives with a focus on natural subjects. What character did Daniel play during his university's devised adaptation of the iconic surreal stories of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll? A, Alice, B, Cheshire Cat, C, the Mock Turtle, or D, the Mad Hatter?
Well, that's going back pretty far. Thank you for the question. I'm going to say, if I had to guess, I could see Daniel playing a Cheshire Cat. I think he played the cat. No. What was the answer?
The Mock Turtle.
Oh.
Yeah. I had an awesome head of hair built out of cans, mock turtle soup, and it was a great time. One of the few times I've sung on stage, and it was deliberately bad. But yeah, I think Michael has a piece of trivia, another piece of Red Deer trivia for you. So we'll do that first.
Yeah, well, I get to ask a question. So based on my Google search here, what is the official cookie of Red Deer? There is an official cookie. Is it A, a lemon crinkle? Love lemon. B, caramel surprise. D, red velvet. Or C, salted butterscotch chocolate chunk?
I have no idea.
Any guesses? You have to pick one.
Lemon crinkle.
Lemon crinkle, nice. It was actually caramel surprise. Yeah, it was a contest back in 1996. The official winner, the recipe was Darlene Blair from Trochu, Alberta. It's on Red Deer's website. It's official. That's like official thing.
I moved here in '96.
There we go.
Nice. I would have, to be fair, I would have picked a lemon crinkle as well. That sounds delicious. But maybe we'll have to see if we can find one while we're here.
Right?
Yeah. Nice.
That's my trivia question.
Yeah, and Michael has prepared trivia for me. So give that a read and we'll see how well I know Michael.
Okay. My artistic practice involves painting. Michael is not a visual artist, but once in a while he paints things for functional purposes. What is the last thing he painted? A, the handles of the cabinet drawers in his tiny house that needs touching up. B, a camera dolly rig. C, the door of his Honda Civic where some rust started to appear, or D, an outdoor sound dampening panel for podcast interviews?
Oh, my goodness. I feel like all of those are very valid things that you could have done very recently. And the question was the most recent one, right?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna go with B, which, what was B again?
A camera dolly rig?
I mean, that's the last thing that I'm gonna go with B. Commit. I'm gonna commit. Was it B?
You are correct.
Yes! Nice. Just because we used that recently, so that's awesome.
Something I built. Yeah. Nice.
Awesome. That's our trivia. Next up, we've got a bit of this or that. So there's just some this or that's in our lovely little hat here. We'll pick one out, read it, and we'll just see what our preferences are. So I'll let you do the honors. You can pick one at random and just read it out.
Electric or gas?
Electric or gas? I think I would just say electric generally. I can't remember if this is in relation to vehicles or not. I haven't driven an electric vehicle, but generally I would say electric. Yeah, I don't know. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I guess I don't remember this one, but I'm going to say electric, only because like recently I bought a lawnmower that's a battery-powered lawnmower. Haven't had a chance to try it out yet, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Instead of a gas one, use a battery. It's got this really big, heavy battery, so electric for me. How about you, Alison?
Alberta is oil country, but I will say electric too.
Just because? Or
Just because it's safer.
Yeah, that's fair. But you have a good point there. Alberta is very much oil and gas country, so maybe we should switch. But anyway, awesome. I'll pick one out here at random. See what else we get. We've got, are you an early bird or night owl?
I used to be a night owl. I'm not an early bird. I do get up in the morning. I used to not get up in the morning. Now I get up in the morning. I used to paint late at night, but I'm here downtown. I paint during the day.
Sure, that's super fair. Yeah. I am very much a night owl. I just, I stay up late, and it's been that way ever since I was a kid. And I've tried many times to, I don't know if correct it is the right word, but yes, my circadian rhythm is late. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Daniel. I'm definitely a morning person. Yeah, I like to get up early, go to the climbing gym. Yeah, especially when it's like springtime and it's sunny out really early. Start the day off right. So, morning person.
Nice. Awesome. I'll let you do the honors and pick another one.
Matching or mismatching socks?
Okay, so typically I am very much matching, but a few times now I have deliberately mismatched, like the same sock, but like black and white. And I don't know, there was something about it that I kind of liked. I think it unlocked something in me.
I think it's trendy.
Yeah. So I think generally though, I would go matching. Yeah. How about yourself?
Matching.
Nice.
Got
Yes.
my Halloween socks.
Nice. Perfect. Nice. How about you, Michael?
Also matching, yeah. I couldn't mismatch. It would drive me crazy. So. matching. Although that being said, sometimes have like the same pair of socks, like the same style, multiple ones. So I guess I could be like mismatching left and right, but they're all the same. I can't tell the difference. I thought that was important to say. I don't know why.
It's all important.
Socks are important.
Yeah. Our next question is truck or car? What's your preference?
I don't drive.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Have you ever driven? No? Is that like a lifestyle choice or just a personal thing? Or?
Kind of a personal thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I've never had a license.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I got mine super late. I was just at university and I didn't really need a car, so I didn't go and do it. And eventually now, though, having a car, I appreciate the autonomy. I think I appreciate it more because I took a while to get it. But yeah, how about you, truck or car?
Yeah, generally a car. Yeah, but yeah, it's my Honda from that trivia question, which I have not touched up the paint on. Yeah, I use that, but I definitely try to bike and walk as much as I can, just because I enjoy doing those things, and I just use the car when I need to get a little further, a little faster. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I think that's enough of this or that. So we'll move along to our tumbling towers here. And just to recap for ourselves, you ideally are not taking from the top 3 rows. And you're more than welcome to, poke around and see what is maybe loose. And yeah, each block corresponds to a question, and we'll just see what we get. And just see what our answers might be. So I'll let you do the honors and just try pick a block there and see what we get. Oh yeah, nice. 38, I see. Lovely. Our question there is, what would be the title of your autobiography? So if you were having an autobiography written, what would the title be? And I can maybe go first, give you a second to think about it. I think mine would definitely have to do with creativity in some way. I have a little mantra that's like people, process, product. So maybe it's people's processes, Perryman people in process, product. It's a working title. We'll go from there. I don't know if you thought about this, Michael?
Not enough. I probably should have. What comes to mind for me, I'm describing my autobiography. I don't know. I just think a walkabout. I'm on a walkabout, walking around, slowly moving through life and creativity. So something about walking right now is what my autobiography might be. Did you have any ideas, Alison, about maybe what, if someone asked you what your autobiography might be?
Well, my studio motto is thorough thought, unconventional design. So that's what I would call it.
Amazing. I love that. So much more succinct than either Michael or I. That's fantastic. Nice. Awesome. Okay, I guess it's my turn. See what we can get here. Yeah, let's do that one. Awesome. We got number 3. So what is your favorite film? And if a specific film doesn't come to mind, maybe just a genre of TV or film. I know for myself, one of my all-time favorite movies is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I just love that movie, and it's very inspirational, and it's just got all the things in it. And so that would be my favorite film. Anything coming to mind?
Like a movie?
Yeah.
The genre I appreciate the most is science fiction.
Nice. Has that always been the case, like since you were young, or?
Yeah, since I was little and watched Star Wars.
Nice. Nice. So maybe a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, I feel like they were a lot more magical when I was a kid.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, super fair. Anything come to mind for you, Mike?
Yeah, favorite film is hard. It's difficult to pin down, I would say. But what did I watch recently that was good? I watched Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line, mid-90s. And very, very different war film, very different filmmaker. So, yeah, there's lots of nature and narration, and his process around how he makes films is really very different and unique. So I really appreciate that film. Right now, that's not maybe my favorite, but it came to mind as a film I enjoyed.
Nice. Awesome. I'll let you do the honors and pick another tile there, and yeah, we'll see what we get. It's always exciting. Very random. Oh, you got one. Nice. See, that's number 49, I believe. So, kind of a broad question. What are you obsessed with? That could be absolutely anything. I guess it could be arts and creativity related, or just in everyday life if there's something you're obsessed with. I think for myself, I have like as a physical practice, I just love stretching. And so I guess I'm obsessed with that to some extent. I feel like I always feel better after doing it, and yeah, that's what comes to mind for me. Anything come to mind that you might be obsessed with?
Well, I am pretty obsessed with the arts. That's my life.
Yeah, nice. Anything come to mind for you, Michael?
Yes, I'm obsessed with a few things. Just right now, I'm all about walking. I know I brought that up earlier, probably because I'm obsessed about it. I don't know if it's an obsession, but yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna walk. And the month of March, I was like, I'm just gonna like not drive as much as possible and just keep walking. I was reading a book about walking and the various benefits physically and creatively. So I'm just all about it. Every time I go walk to the library, I can walk. I don't need to drive. Even biking, I'm just gonna walk. So, wanna go for a walk?
Not right now. Nice. And you mentioned that the arts in general. Is there anything specific in that you're obsessed with, like right now? Any
I've always been obsessed with drawing cats.
cats? Nice.
Since I was a little kid, I draw cats.
Nice. Do you have cats?
Yes, I have
Yeah.
2.
2 cats. Ooh, nice. Michael also has cats. Do you want to guess? Yeah, 4. Nice. What are your cats' names? Just I have to ask.
Oscar and Merlin.
Nice. Is like one of them a tabby?
They're both tabbies.
Nice. I love
The Oscar is orange,
it. Mm-hmm.
and Merlin is tabby with a white beard.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a white tuxedo, but it looks like Merlin's beard, so she's Merlin.
Nice. I love that. Nice. Did you always grow up with cats? Is that like part of why?
I got my first cat when I was 10.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, my mom thought she was allergic, but it turned out she wasn't, so I got a cat.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Nice. I've never had a pet. I'll just put that out there. Kind of sad about it, but lots of people I know have pets, so it's fine.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. You're right. You're right. Okay, I think we got time for one more quickly here. We've got, number 2, another low one. What does your perfect day look like? Could be absolutely anything. Maybe it's doing nothing, having nothing on the schedule or agenda, or making art. Yeah, what comes to mind if you were to think about an ideal or quote-unquote perfect day?
Reading and napping.
Reading and napping? I love that. Very cat-esque. Nice. I think for myself, a perfect day, I get to sleep in, I have a solid breakfast, go for a walk, maybe join Michael on a walk. No, he wouldn't do that. And yeah, I'll probably like work on something creative, I think, would bring me a lot of joy. And then catch the sunset, work out and catch the sunset at some point. And that would just, and some more food in there probably, but that would be my ideal day. How about you, Michael?
Nice. Yeah, I know I definitely would. I like your start. Have a solid breakfast. Sure, we can go for a walk. That'd be great. Yeah, doing something creative is good too. If I can, I wouldn't mind going to the mountains, going for a hike, or even just, in fact, I'm actually going to be out in the mountains on this perfect day. So all this stuff is just happening in the mountains. And yeah, also maybe I'd catch the sunset on the top of the mountain. Yeah, that'd be a pretty solid day as well. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I think that's all the time we have for our icebreaker segment. So thank you so much for your time and energy. It's been lovely getting to know you here. And yeah, we'll be right back for an interview segment. But in the meantime, yeah, this has been TELUS Storyhive's On Location here in Red Deer. We're at Art is Off the Wall Studios at the Scott Block. And yeah, my name's Daniel, local filmmaker and theater maker in Lethbridge, Alberta. This is my co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability. And this is
Alison Forsberg.
Nice. And we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to TELUS STORYHIVE's On Location here in Red Deer. We are at Art is Off the Wall Studios in the Scott Block. My name is Daniel J. Perryman. I'm a local theatre and filmmaker based in Lethbridge, Alberta. And this is my lovely co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability. And this is...
I'm Alison Forsberg, a multimedia visual artist here in Red Deer.
Love it, yeah. Thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you a bit outside of your artistic practice with our icebreakers there. And yeah, I'm super excited to dive into a little interview with you and just kind of, paint the picture, as it were, of your artistic journey so far and maybe where you hope to go and do and what you hope to do. But yeah, I think generally just start off with what is it that you do, broadly speaking? What is your practice?
Visual art, and I use a variety of media, on canvas, on wood, painting, drawing, and digital too.
Mm-hmm.
I do artwork on my computer and on my iPad.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited to dive into all that. And yeah, I guess if we kind of rewind all the way back, and we just kind of think about, what are your oldest memories of engaging with art? What are the sorts of things that come to mind?
I have a pretty good memory, so my oldest memory is actually, probably people won't believe this, but being 2 or 3,
Okay.
and drawing people.
Oh wow.
And what was important to me, I remember when I drew people, was I would draw like a round body with stick legs and arms because, of course, motor skills. But what was important to me was that all the people I drew had to have a belly button because I thought that was important.
Nice.
And it was just a little spiral, and it was all very rudimentary, but I remember specifically making sure all the people I drew had one.
Yeah, nice. I guess at the time that was your obsession, I guess. The belly buttons have got to be there.
And then later it was cats.
And then later it was cats. Nice. So what else comes to mind as far as like oldest memories? So if it was people with belly buttons to begin with, what would have been the next thing? Was it cats?
Cartoon cats. I went through a little dark phase where I drew trees when I was about 10, but they were dead. And then I would write "Death is Beauty."
Okay.
I was a little bit goth even back then.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. How long did that last?
Oh, about a year.
Yeah.
And but then I got back into the goth thing when I was 15. But when I was a teenager, I used to do like portraits of people I knew, just pencil. Just mostly pencil in a sketchbook. And of course art in high school and art in junior high, and like just, always took those subjects. Some people used to take art because they thought it was easy. I took it because I liked it. I don't know if it's easy, but I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah. And just kind of thinking back on like some of those drawings you might have made in your youth there, of people, like, were you ever able to like share them with people, or?
A little bit. Pieces I did in school, like in high school, I would put them up on my wall, and
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. I'm also just curious, like, in high school, like, were there any like specific like teachers or mentors or like parents or guardians that kind of like inspired you to do art, or was it really kind of from yourself that came
My
about?
grandmother was an artist, and she did a lot of watercolor and oil painting, and she was an excellent artist.
And were you kind of exposed to that as a youth, or did you find that a bit later in your journey?
She lived in Saskatchewan, so we went and visited her, yearly, like in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my mom likes to draw, and so does my sister, and they're both artists now, developing their art as well. So we're kind of like a family of artists.
Yeah. What does that mean to you to kind of be a part of that and have that kind of support or just, yeah, to see that?
It's pretty good, because like some people like I can't remember who said it, but somebody said all children are artists until someone tells them they're not. And I was very lucky, and no one ever told me I wasn't an artist. So that's what I became.
I love that sentiment so much. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I just also love hearing that, yeah, your family kind of does it. And do you all kind of do similar mediums, or do you kind of do different things?
We all do pretty different things. My mom loves watercolor, and my grandma loved watercolor, and she did do oil painting, my grandma. But my grandma really fell in love with watercolor, and so did my mom. I do it, not as much.
That's fair.
And my sister really likes colored pencil and digital.
Okay, cool. Very interesting. And so yeah, that would have been like in your teens, it sounds like, in high school. And yeah, what kind of came next after that?
Well, I got jobs, like working in retail, and I didn't do as much art. I did bits here and there. I did sell some paintings over the years, and then I went back to college into media studies, and I got my diploma, and that's a program for marketing, and I just I was doing art then, but mostly digital, and that's how I kind of got back into it more professionally, was after graduating.
After graduating, yeah. And I'm curious about that experience of yeah, going to college and for marketing. And you said you maybe did a bit of art here and there during that time. What was that like, kind of taking that sort of, not like a full hiatus from art, but just kind of having it kind of on the peripheral, I guess it sounds like? What was that like?
Yeah, it's more of a hobby. Yeah. I don't know. I've just always done it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then yeah, kind of once you graduated, it sounds like you got back into more of a practice. I guess, is that when you would say your kind of practice as it is now kind of really started? Is that when you would say that started? Or?
Yeah, I developed Art is Off the Wall, and that was a project in school, and it became my social media, my Instagram, and it became my studio. And I do markets, I do galleries, I do events, I do things now with my art. So, and I work on commissions, I do commission work.
Yeah, and that, so it sounds like that all kind of started, shortly after college there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you kind of developed this brand of Art is Off the Wall during that time, and then kind of really decided to go for it afterwards?
And it's actually, it's a registered business in Red Deer because I do graphic design, which is kind of like marketing. Like I'll do advertising and things and logos. And that's my brand.
Yeah, super interesting. Cool. And what was that like, kind of finishing your college degree there and starting Art is Off the Wall? What, if you were to take us back to that time, what were some of the things going through your mind, when you first dived into it? Were you super trepidatious? Were you like gung-ho for it? Or?
I was pretty gung-ho for it, but I was, concerned, like, that it wouldn't fly. So I was doing it from home.
Yeah. And was that like a practical choice, or you felt
It
more
was more
comfortable?
practical. You got to pay the bills.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And when you graduated, it sounded like, did you have any other jobs going on at that time, or were you full time?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Would you mind sharing a bit about any of them?
Uh, I did some social media management.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any creative elements to that at all?
A little bit, coming up with some images for Instagram, images for Facebook, a little bit of text on it, content writing.
Cool. And yeah, you've kind of said, like on your website and stuff, that you're very much a self-taught artist. You have some formal training, but I feel like that's a wonderful thing that I'd love to dive into. Just that idea of being a self-taught artist. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I have had a little bit of formal training. I have taken some classes and I've had some mentors. But yeah, I think art is just practice. You just keep doing it, and the more you do it, the more you learn. And I learn something new from every artwork I do.
Nice. And yeah, is there any sense of like, what's the word? Accumulative. So it's just like, it sounds like this.
You get better.
Yeah. The more you do it.
The more you do it, the more you learn, the better your skills are. Yeah.
Yeah. And where do you feel like that idea of practice, how did that fit in your like earlier days, like shortly after college there? Did you have like a regular practice of hours that you would paint like at home there, or not quite? Or
well, yeah, I was painting at home, and I was also part of a local zine, so I was the art director for that zine. It was called Brutal Reality Digest, and I was busy with creating content for that as well.
Yeah, could you tell us anything about that project, and yeah, what it was about, and yeah, what you were making for it?
Well, it was a published zine, so I did all the covers. And I did all the layout. I did it in Adobe InDesign, and we developed as a group. We developed a mascot, Brutus, and he's a troll, and he was on every single cover of the zine in various covers. So it was very creative. It was a very creative project.
Nice. Yeah, and was that creativity sort of like you by yourself, or it sounds like there was a bit of a team? So
oh yes, there was writers. Like I was just doing the visuals.
Right.
I did write an article or two here and there, but it was a team of us that, and we had regular features. There was a colleague of mine that wrote like video game article, and a girl who wrote about her hiking, and those were regular features, and somebody who wrote movie reviews, and it was a nice little we had a lot of content. It was very good.
Yeah.
And then it became a website when we couldn't get the publishing anymore. And then it was a blog, and we had writers for the blog, and I wrote a blog, and I continued to do the visuals. So yeah.
That sounds kind of awesome, having that maybe source material kind of there for you to then create from. Is that like typically something like when you're making stuff now that you have like a source that you're pulling from to create it, or
No, I feel like I just, like the art I do now is from my imagination. So, yeah, it's different than graphic design.
And tell me a bit more about graphic design, because that's one of the disciplines that you work in, and yeah, it sounds like that was like right there since you graduated college, kind of developing that practice. So yeah, what can you tell me about the graphic design portion of your practice?
Well, that's more about brand identity
Mm.
and um, creating documents and elements for brands that visually represent what the brand is about.
Hmm. And how do you feel that has maybe evolved or grown since college over the years? How do you think that's kind of developed for yourself there?
Uh, I do it freelance mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
So I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you mean developed.
Sure. Like I guess is there certain skills that you've maybe honed in on throughout your time doing that, or are you kind of, I mean, super fair if you're kind of pulling from the same skill set, the same programs, the same sort of things.
I use industry standard software. I use Adobe software.
Okay, yeah, and that's been kind of the baseline for you ever since. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I have used other software. I've used some free software before, and I've used some cheaper software, but I'm pretty happy with what Adobe products can do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's super fair.
It's a little expensive, but
Sure. Nice. Cool. And then yeah, so you also paint. Yeah, kind of. Was that something you were doing right away after college there?
oh, I've just always done it.
Always done it?
And well, I mean, like acrylics, that started in high school, of course. And yeah, it's just been trying new media all the time.
Mm-hmm. And so what kind of stuff were you making after college there? In painting, either acrylics or otherwise?
Like subjects?
Sure, yeah.
I do mostly natural subjects, animals, things in nature, trees, like landscapes a little bit. But I like to make them a little more surreal and use a little more abstract elements.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And has that always been the case for you? Pretty much, eh?
Yeah. I think some of the masters I was really inspired by is like Van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very abstract element to his work that I've always appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, and kind of on that idea of like inspirations or mentors, you had mentioned kind of around college or shortly after, like, mentors. Well, yeah, who are some of the people that come to mind? Either more inspirations like Van Gogh or otherwise? Kind of putting
A
you
lot
on the
of
spot.
local artists. Like there's a Calvin Christensen. I don't know if you saw him in the artist directory. He did a lot of landscapes before, and now he's been experimenting with abstract, and it's really interesting, his art. And also Brenda Smith, who has Studio Luso. She's always been a traditional artist, but she's been exploring abstract for the last 10 years at least, and it's been really amazing, just being inspired by her art.
Yeah.
And his art, and lots of local artists. So
what's that mean to you to kind of be a part of that community and have that source of inspiration in your very own community?
It's pretty great. I love seeing other people's art. I love going to galleries. I like browsing on Instagram. Some people are intimidated by other artists, thinking somebody's better, but to me, we're all different. We're all artists.
Nice. I think that's a beautiful place to come from. Yeah. Nice. So after college, what was kind of like the next big thing? Do you think your next kind of milestone? You obviously had created Art is Off the Wall? Had you founded it yet?
Well, yes.
Yes, yeah. Hmm. And what happened after that?
I just continued Art is Off the Wall and freelancing and graphic design and continuing my art, and I guess I've been in this studio since 2024. That I've been working from here instead of from home.
Yeah, what did that mean to you to have your own studio space that is separate from your living space?
It's pretty good because I come here, I don't have any excuses. I can just do art. I don't have distractions. It's all about art here.
Nice, nice. And yeah, like, so during that time after you had founded Art is Off the Wall, you know, you had mentioned that you'd been to various markets and whatnot. Were there any like especially special ones that come to mind?
Well, art shows like Encore Art Show in Lacombe was an interesting experience. The town of Sylvan Lake Art Show was neat, and at those I got to meet lots of other artists too. Some of them came from far away, but it was a great experience.
Yeah. Let's dive into the Lacombe Art Show. Yeah, what made that special? Had you ever been there before?
I hadn't.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a great show. I did a live painting while I was there. Yeah.
Is that something that you had ever done before, a live painting at an art show? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I've done live painting for the Red Deer Arts Council. I've done live painting at a drop-in center I worked for. We had a talent show. I did a live painting. Yeah.
Nice. Were there any like reactions to that or interactions that you had at that show?
It is different when people are watching you. It is different. Yeah, it's a little unnerving.
Yeah, sure. Especially when you have your own space and you're maybe used to being solo. I think painting is generally, I would consider it more of a solitary practice usually.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's different when you have an audience for sure.
Yeah. Nice. And then yeah, you also mentioned Sylvan Lake. Yeah, what made that special?
Just the quality of the other artists there. It wasn't a very well attended show, and a lot of the artists were very disappointed. But I still got good things out of it. Yeah.
Do you remember any of those things off the top of your mind?
Oh, well, you know, just the artist next to me, you know, connecting with him, seeing his art, seeing the other people's art, seeing the value of other people's art, and how I should be pricing my own work a little higher, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they, there was some quite affluent artists there, so it was interesting.
Nice.
I felt a little disparity there.
That's interesting, and I think maybe something to touch on, just that idea of being self-taught and developing your own business and brand, and just that idea of, yeah, like, you know, pricing your work. That's always a big
It's hard.
question, right? Yeah. I feel like, is there anything you've like learned over the years, like through experiences like that? Or?
Yeah, I think you can increase the value of your artwork with your experience and with your skill. The more skilled you are, it's gonna move your prices up.
And to just take ownership of that, it sounds like, is an important step. Yeah. Nice. Another question that I had is that just because you do work in like quite a few different mediums, but you've also had the opportunity to find ways to intersect those mediums and disciplines in a few different ways. And I was just wondering, yeah, what could you tell us about that process of, yeah, intersecting things? Is it just free play, or is there a method to the madness?
Well, I like supporting local. So there used to be an art supply store here in downtown Red Deer. And I would just go there to browse new art supplies. And the staff there were great. And I just tried new things. And I think the best way to learn those media is just experimenting with them.
And has that been like a constant thing for you, or just a more recent thing since getting your own space?
Oh no, it's always been since I got more professional since graduating.
Nice. Very cool. We would be remiss if we didn't dive into your brand, Art is Off the Wall, a bit more. So yeah, how can you tell me, what can you tell me about how that brand for yourself came about? Art is Off the Wall.
It started in college. It was a project. We were supposed to develop a brand. It was one of our assignments. And I came up with Art is Off the Wall.
Yeah. Was there any sort of like special memory behind that, or was it like the first thing that came to mind and you just committed and ran with it?
Just ran with it. What part of the assignment was to develop a brand and an Instagram account, which I did. Those posts don't exist anymore because it's become my art. And they were just college assignments.
Yeah.
So now it's just Art is Off the Wall.
Oh, I love that. I love the simplicity behind it, and that, yeah, you just kind of committed to it, and that you've kept it alive, obviously, and you're still going. I think that's amazing. Yeah. I think a lot of people maybe, I know for myself, can maybe get over analytical of the things, and that maybe prevents me from doing the practice, like you said, which has been so important to you. So no, that's super awesome. I guess another question that I love to ask is just like, what's on the horizon for you? Yeah. Or what do you hope is on the horizon for yourself and your business here?
Just gonna continue doing what I'm doing and building the brand and acquiring more work, and I'm hoping to take some more classes at the college. It's the Red Deer Polytechnic here, and they have a visual arts program, but I wouldn't be enrolling in a diploma. They have some summer workshops.
Nice.
So I'm gonna take. I'd like to take a mixed media workshop and an open studio workshop.
Nice. What do you hope to get out of those courses?
Just more skills. There's always something new to learn. There's always something new to learn in art. I actually missed college. It was fun.
Yeah. I love that idea of just kind of being a lifelong learner, it sounds like, and just kind of that outlook and perspective on your craft, and that there's always something to learn. I think that's really beautiful. Yeah.
Always something new. Yeah.
Nice. Another question that I love to ask is just, what advice would you give to any aspiring artists, regardless of their age, perhaps? Just people that are hoping to be more creative and maybe try painting in some way?
Just try it. Just do it. Just keep trying. Not everything you do you're going to love, like the finished artwork. Crumple it up, throw it away, do whatever you want with it, but keep trying. Just keep practicing, and it just gets better. It always gets better.
I love that idea of just longevity, it sounds like. Don't expect to maybe be Van Gogh overnight.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Just don't give up.
Don't give up. I love that. Another question I have is just what are the pros and or maybe cons of being an artist in central Alberta, and maybe Red Deer specifically, perhaps? Like what are the pros and potential cons of that?
some of the pros are like there's not a lot of us,
Right.
so you kind of get to be a little bit bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Mhm.
Whereas centers like Calgary and Edmonton might have a lot more arts and culture, but you might get lost a little bit there.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, and how do you think that has maybe benefited you and your brand, Art is Off the Wall?
I'm pretty well known around here for that.
Yeah, nice. And do any cons come to mind? Just because I think there can be value in considering those things as well.
Yeah. Actually, a survey was done, a marketing survey about Central Alberta and related to the arts and how they could get people to engage with the arts. And there was quite a good percentage of people that didn't want to engage with the arts, weren't interested in the arts. And the arts and culture in Red Deer, like the Red Deer Arts Council and other organizations like the museum, are working to engage people with the arts, because it's an important thing for Red Deer, for anywhere.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope they're able to make progress on that. Yeah. Another little question that we always like to try and end with here, since we are almost at the end of our time together there, is just how has creativity changed or maybe shaped your everyday life?
It's part of my life. I can't imagine my life without it. If I couldn't do art, I'd be depressed.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I think that's a simple and poignant remark to end off on. So, yeah. So thank you so much for your time and energy here. We've got one more showcase with you coming up here, but
sure.
Yeah. So this has been TELUS Storyhive's On Location here in Red Deer, and we're at Art is Off the Wall Studios in the Scott Block. My name is Daniel J. Perryman, local theatre and filmmaker based in Lethbridge, Alberta. This is my lovely co-host,
Michael Bartz. I make short films and podcasts around environmental sustainability. And this is
Alison Forsberg.
Nice. And yeah, we'll be right back.
Welcome to TELUS STORYHIVE's On Location here in Red Deer at Art is Off the Wall at Scott Block. I'm Michael. I make short films and podcasts about environmental sustainability. And this is my co-host,
Daniel J. Perryman, local theatre and filmmaker based in Lethbridge, Alberta. And today we have...
Alison Forsberg, multimedia visual artist in Red Deer.
In Red Deer, we're here in Red Deer. Nice. Yeah, so I really enjoyed your segments with Daniel, especially learning about your artistic journey and some of all the stuff that was going on. And with this segment, we call it the showcase. And with that, we just like to show your work and talk about it. We can talk about the process, we can talk about the story behind it. So I think to start off, the first one we decided to talk about was Rainbow Cat, because you love cats. Tell me about Rainbow Cat.
It's actually a reinterpretation of my own cat. Her name is Merlin. That's with the white beard on the cat. I like to take animals and use bright and bold colors to just make it a little more like an abstract interpretation of nature, a more surreal look. And Merlin is very colorful personality, so I made a colorful painting of her. And the background is with palette knife. It's kind of looks a little bit like marble. It was really fun to do.
Yeah. And what's that like getting Merlin just to pose there for
Oh,
however
that
long?
didn't happen.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's from a photo. I took a photo of her, and well, actually, I have a lot of photos of her, and they can be combined to make one photo.
Okay. I figured it wasn't a
Reference,
drawing. Yeah. So,
No.
so you actually took multiple photos to get that feeling of that color and aliveness?
Not the color. The color is like reinterpretations of her fur. She's obviously not those colors. She is like a black and brown tabby. No, when I take color like red and blue and purple, and I take colors like that are natural, it's kind of a process to change brown into a bright red and black into a dark purple, and just reinterpreting those colors that are natural into unnatural colors.
Yeah. And do you find with certain colors, do you consistently change a natural brown to a red or orange, or do you kind of play with that?
I play with it. I have a lot of. I had a show at a local venue, was called the Velvet Olive, and the title of my show was The Nature of Variegation, which is natural subject using bright and bold colors.
Tell me more about that.
It was a great show. It was up for a couple months. I sold 9 pieces.
That's great. Yeah. And tell me more about the show itself. So how did you get involved with that?
Actually, it kind of relates to brutal reality. That's how I kind of networked with a bunch of people, meeting people and getting out there in the community. And I met the owner of the venue and got a show in there.
Great, yeah. And 9 pieces, that seems like quite a few to sell. Yeah. And were the subject matters, like you said, they were all people or animals, right?
Not natural.
Yeah.
Only animals, no people.
Oh, okay.
And landscapes.
Okay. Interesting.
But all abstract.
Yeah. Okay. And so you had cats, I assume. What other animals were in that exhibit?
Yeah, I did have I think there was 3 cats. Yeah. Merlin is not for sale. She's on the rainbow cat is on the wall in my home.
Never gonna sell Merlin, probably.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's a special one. Oh, nice. And yeah, you mentioned that that exhibit had some nature pieces as well, and that makes me think of actually the second piece we want to talk about is A piece from nature. Was that in that exhibit, or?
No, actually, that one was more recent. That one
Okay.
was just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, tell me about a piece from nature.
Well, actually, it started out as a demo for the Open Studio Tour here in Red Deer. The public can come and visit local artist studios in September and like over a weekend, and just get to see artists in their practice. And my demonstration was actually started that piece. It's a gold, like a gold gesso base I had on birch panel, and I had a photo I took at a local trail that's that scene, and I just dissected it into shapes and colored those shapes more naturally. So it's like a natural subject that's in pieces. So it's a piece from nature. And that piece was sold as soon as I posted it.
People liked it,
Yeah.
And you said you were like, so you're actually creating that as people were coming through to see the studio? Or that was kind of like, or it already been done?
Yeah, people were watching me paint it. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like? I know you mentioned you've done some live painting before, but like have people in the studio, maybe your own space. What was that like to have them there while you're making that piece?
It was okay. They didn't get. We were talking more about the other art that I had on display, and the demo was a very small part of it. Just like, this is what I do, and just maybe show a little bit of it, but they didn't see the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. They wouldn't have stuck. Hopefully, they didn't stick around that long.
No.
Yeah.
It takes
a while.
takes some time.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned, if I remember correctly, you were saying that. So there's like that natural, like that outdoor scene, but it's kind of unnatural as well.
Right.
Yeah. Tell me more about that part of your work, incorporating those two elements together.
I guess it's just making art like from how I see the world, and I see things very colorful and vibrant, so that's just kind of comes out in my work. And it's also a mood, so yeah.
And do you remember what mood you might have been in when in that outdoor scene?
I was pretty calm. I'm generally a pretty calm person.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I guess we can talk about a few more pieces here. Moving down my list, there's several that were like, again, nature inspired. Some birds. So we have, is it nickel bar pigeon? Is that right? Tell me about that piece.
I just saw pictures of the birds on like Instagram, on social media and things, and I just thought, what a beautiful bird. So I just wanted to create an artwork of that bird.
Yeah, and that one, like Merlin's piece, right? It's very colorful, more so than the actual pigeon itself, I assume.
Not much.
No,
it's a very colorful pigeon.
Well, I stand corrected.
And it's in the islands of Nicobar.
Hence the name. Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was maybe more natural than of those colors.
Yes, but it's in pieces as well. It's each feather is outlined.
Okay. Yeah. And tell me more about that. Putting those things in pieces, like it does look very much like a pigeon, but do you do any kind of like altering it that way? Like, do you kind of plan that out? How you're going to change it?
Yeah, just drawing the shapes, making the shapes of each color.
So you'll do the outline first, and then you'll kind of fill it in?
No, I do the underpainting, and then I paint each shape and then outline it.
Okay, great, yeah. As we established in the earlier part, I'm not a visual artist, so speak to me as if I were a child. Or no, it's fine.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. I'm like, how do we do this? It's amazing either way. So it's wonderful.
It's fun.
Yeah, and so that piece stood out to you. I love that you saw that online. and you were able to kind of create something out of that. And I love that there were those vibrant colors that you wouldn't maybe expect from a North American pigeon.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to look up. It's spelled Nicobar. It's islands, Nicobar, and they have this pigeon, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. And whereabouts in the world is that? Also not a geography major, apparently.
It's I believe it's near India.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're very, of course, other countries. Flora and fauna is very different from Canada.
Absolutely, yeah. Just out of curiosity, that you mentioned that, like, have you gotten a chance to ever like travel somewhere else to kind of make art or think about it, or?
No, actually, I've only left Canada to go to Alaska and Montana.
Okay. What were you doing in Alaska?
I lived in a northern town called Dawson Creek, in northern BC, and my family just decided to travel the Mile Zero Highway to Alaska for a vacation.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How old were you then?
17.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Were there any kind of like creative inspirations on that trip that you remember?
The tundra in I think it was in August we went. Yeah, it's very different. It's not very lush like forest like I was used to. It's quite beautiful in its own way.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I guess we can move on to another piece. Maybe something like different on this list. That when I saw these images, I thought, oh, that's different. Let's talk about artifice. Tell me about that piece.
Oh, that one is currently in the Contemporary Art Show at the library, the Kiwanis Gallery here in Red Deer. My artist statement is about, the piece is about AI.
That's number 6, by the way. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah.
And I didn't use any AI in creating this piece.
Okay.
It's a human hand in oil pastel reaching towards an AI hand, which is actually a model hand. I don't have it here. A model hand that I took a photo of and added an extra finger, and so it's like a mixed media piece. And because AI generally puts an extra finger on human hands, so that was the AI hand, and then there was the oil pastel, which was the human hand. And the piece is about how the human hand has so much more to offer. The human art has so much more to offer than AI ever can, in my opinion. It's contemporary art. It's what's affecting the art world is AI.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a very contemporary issue that's happening right now. So that's really interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Tell me more. What about your feelings about that?
I think AI should be doing my dishes instead of creating my artwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't understand why it's taking the fun out of things creatively. Why can't humans live and be creative? Why do machines take that over and then we just work? It should be the other way around.
Absolutely. Yeah. With the jobs and stuff, we just want to make art. Come on, people. Yeah. And I appreciate that, especially with that piece. That what comes to mind or stands out is really that human connection too, right? Where you're having that human hand reaching out. Tell me more about that.
But the AI hand is going back like this because the human hand has more power.
So it's winning over the AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. Yeah, I think that's. And did you get any sort of feedback from that piece about it?
I did attend the opening. A couple people talked to me about it. You know, just asked me basically what you asked me. Where did it come from? I haven't really heard any comments on it.
Okay,
No.
yeah. I just thought maybe it might possibly, you know, as I think art does, is start conversations. Maybe if someone saw that, they might want to talk more about how AI impacts their art or their life. I don't know if any of those
Yeah.
conversations came up as people were talking about your art.
Not really. I think it's an important conversation, though.
Yeah, tell me more about that, about how you feel about AI and the future.
Well, the future's good. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know what will happen. You never know.
Yeah, as far as like, AI making art as opposed to people.
It not just art, writing,
Mhm.
music,
Yeah.
everything creative. It doesn't make any sense to me for people love to do it, and I don't think it should be taken away from humanity.
I agree, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very human thing, especially the art you're doing, visual art.
You have to have emotion to create good art, I think.
Were there any emotions that came out in that piece for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I created it here in my studio. It was it's always I get lost in the artwork when I'm creating it. You pour your soul into it. And I think you can see that when you look at art, human art.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we have time for maybe one more piece to talk about, which is the last one, number 8. Just because I think it'll be interesting. It's called Unrealistic Expectations. Tell me about that piece.
That one is also in the Contemporary Art Show at the Kiwanis Gallery, and it's not for sale because I'd have to sell it for $7 million because it's already been done by a concept artist. A concept artist created a piece where he taped a banana to a wall with a piece of duct tape, and it sold for $6.2 million. And this really upset a lot of people. And so I created a piece using the same idea, but it's a physical drawing. So it's actually worth more because the banana's never going to rot and it's never going to fall off the wall. It's a physical representation. But I cannot sell it because it was the idea that sold. So I cannot. So there was actually a lot of debate from the jury whether or not to accept this piece into the show because it could be controversial, it could have repercussions, but ultimately there was so much debate they accepted it because that's what contemporary art is about. I don't know, to me.
Yeah.
To most people, I hope.
And when you submitted that piece, did you think there was going to be that feeling from the judges about it, that controversy?
I kind of thought so when I submitted it. That's kind of why I submitted it.
And how did you feel when it got in?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's good. I like having it up there. It's coming down tomorrow, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's very interesting to me, especially for contemporary art. To make a piece that is maybe a bit controversial, that gets people talking. And I think, one thing that comes to mind for me, seeing that piece and of course the title makes me curious. So tell me about the title, Unrealistic Expectations.
Because how can I expect $7 million for my illustration of a banana taped to a wall? However, that's what it's worth. However, if I did sell it for $7 million, the artist who had the idea that sold it for $6.2 million could sue me. It's a conundrum.
Yeah. I just wonder if there was any like other double meaning behind that unrealistic expectation about art or anything else that comes to mind. While you
Concept art, I feel like it's unrealistic to sell a banana taped to the wall for 6.2 million. I think a lot of people agree with me.
Yeah, no, I'd ask more. Yeah, not really. No, yeah, no, I think that's probably why people were so upset by that piece because duct tape, banana, that's not art. Yeah,
and the guy ate the banana too.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
It was about the it's actually concept art is about. I'm not dissing concept art. It's just it's important because it does start conversations and it does get a reaction out of people. So
fair enough. Yeah, it gets people talking and conversations. And I think that's a good point to end this conversation. But yeah, I very much appreciated talking to you, Alison, and learning about your art and showing it and being here. So thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Yes, this has been On Location, part of TELUS STORYHIVE. We're here in Red Deer at Art is Off the Wall at Scott Block. I'm Michael. I make short films podcasts about environmental sustainability. And this is my co-host, Daniel.
Daniel J. Perryman, local theatre and filmmaker based in Lethbridge, Alberta. And this has been
Alison Forsberg.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.